Good afternoon, everyone. Um, Good to see you in front of me, the people in front of me in the room, as well as the the participants joining in via Zoom. Okay, we're gonna spend about 45 minutes going through this very interesting topic called prompt engineering. Okay, this is probably the more pragmatic aspect of generative AI. Okay. This is me. I'm Dr. Yeo from National University of Singapore. Currently, I'm a senior lecturer, School of Computing, on the Department of Information Systems and Analytics. I also serve the Advanced Computing for Executives, or ACE. Now, ACE is actually our continuing education branch of School of Computing. Okay, my research interests are how to use large language models, which is the technology behind ChatGPT, okay, to enhance computing education. And also, connected to that, I'm also interested in something called adaptive learning. Essentially, what adaptive learning is trying to adapt our assessment questions or review questions to the competence level of our students while they are doing those questions. So the questions actually adapt to your abilities. But that aside, today I'm here to talk about ChatGPT, large language models, and prompting. First things first, I will have you I will need you to go to this address, tinyurl.com/26pcayWF. Okay. So while you are trying to access this, okay, I will give you a quick rundown, okay, because you obviously need some time to type that. All right. So what happens is, I think everybody does everybody uses ChatGPT, right? Some more frequently than others. Some even use it like Google these days, right? Like a search engine. Everything you don't know, everything you want to find out, you use ChatGPT, right? Or any other competitor like Gemini. Okay. However, the important thing is, how do you communicate properly with ChatGPT? Now, the interesting thing about this is that since we have almost daily practice and daily access, okay, to ChatGPT, everybody somehow thinks that they are at the master level, no, the top level, level 10, maximum level when it comes to prompting, right? So everybody thinks that they are damn good at prompting, right? So, well, I don't profess that as well. Myself, I still think that I don't know enough of prompt engineering, but I certainly know some of the prompting techniques in a more systematic way. Obviously, you would, from your own experience, also have some special phrases or some special techniques that you have been using, right, since November 2022, and that was when ChatGPT was actually officially launched, right? But the important thing is, we are here to learn from one another. If you have any special magical phrases that always works with ChatGPT, never failed before, kindly share. Okay, I don't have the monopoly of knowledge here because ChatGPT is just barely 2 years old, right? So anybody who claims that they are ChatGPT expert, you really need to put in a bit of pinch of salt there, because that person who is an expert in ChatGPT is just experienced for 2.5 years. How experienced that person in the real world? All right. So just to clarify some nomenclature, that means some terminology, some jargon, right? I need you to know three words here: prompt, processing, and response. I think it's pretty clear what it is, but I just want to get everybody on the same page. Later, people are very confused. And the interesting thing is, I think it's better to clarify what means which process, right? So clearly, when you launch ChatGPT, you would be typing something in. That something that you type into ChatGPT is called a prompt. Okay. Now, why don't I just simply call it a question or statement or whatever, a query, right? It's quite clear that that is no longer relevant, because now you are trying to get the ChatGPT, you're trying to prompt ChatGPT to reply you. Therefore, it's called a prompt, okay, in simple terms. So after you type your prompt or whatever you want to tell ChatGPT, you would press enter or click that arrow button, and then it will be sent somewhere to outer space, and then somehow magically the answer comes back, right? So in that process is what we call processing, okay? Clearly, there's a lot more than that, but I have very limited time here, and my focus is not on how ChatGPT works today. Well, I mean, I can, but definitely no time to explain that. But just know that after you submit your prompt, there is some processing behind the scenes, okay, at the OpenAI side. And after the processing is done, okay, the OpenAI will deliver a response, and the response will be shown to you in the ChatGPT window. Okay, we call that an interface. Okay, and you read the answer, right? If you're not happy with the answer, what do? You would ask a further answer, a further question, a further prompt. Okay, that maybe maybe the answer kind of showed that the ChatGPT sort of misunderstood what you're trying to say, and then you modify your prompt, or you create a brand new prompt and all that, right? So this process is iterative. What that means is that you do it again and again and again until you get the answer you want, or until you get the depth of the answer you want as well. So how deep you want the answer to be. You can start off very, very superficially, and then you go deeper and deeper as well, right? So the next section, after clarifying the steps, the main steps, let's talk about what are the techniques or effective techniques that you can use, okay, for writing ChatGPT prompts. And so, for example, okay, so let me give you a definition of prompt engineering in the first place, right? So prompt engineering, it's obviously a very recent invention. It didn't exist before ChatGPT came about, right? And within this roughly 2 years, it has evolved into a topic by itself called prompt engineering, right? So it's essentially how to design, and not only design, and also refine prompts, okay, that will actually guide the AI, like ChatGPT, to give you good responses, right? Okay, so how do you do prompt engineering? There are a few very key principles or elements here. The first one is actually you need to be very specific, okay? Specific means you need to be very detailed and clear. If you ask very vague questions, they will be very confused, or they try and guess what you're trying to say, but usually the guessing may not be what you want. So you need to be very specific. Next, you need to provide context. Context means what is the background information behind what you're asking. You don't just ask the question, but you also say, okay, why am I asking this? What's the background to this question, right? So that is one, okay? Next is constraint. So for example, sometimes, when you ask a very broad topic, okay, I'll ask a question or write a prompt for a very broad topic, what happens is ChatGPT will give you a very long answer. Whoa, like an essay, right? Like a term paper, like 300 words, blah, 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 blah. But what you are expecting is just, 30 words, right? Or 20 words answer. So what happens is you can use the third key element here called constraint and say, hey, I actually want just 30 words from you or 20 words from you maximum. Instead of blah, 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 the whole page, I don't have time for this, okay? Neither do I want so much details, right? So to summarize, basically you need to be specific, you need to provide background information, and you need to say what exactly is the limitation, the constraint, right? All right, so talking about prompt engineering, there are actually quite a few frameworks out there. These are the topics I'm going to cover. Now, if you go out there and you ask ChatGPT or you ask Google, or you, if you are more advanced, you can ask Search GPT, right? Search GPT is the latest offering from OpenAI. But anyway, regardless of what way you search for different prompt engineering frameworks, right? These are not the only ones, okay? The only ones, I mean, they are shown here because these are the ones that I'm going to cover today, and therefore you will find more, okay, that is beyond this chart, okay? So the first one is chain of thought, then role playing, then zero shot, few shot, and then something very interesting called co-star. Okay. So chain of thought is when you have a chain of thought, right? You think about it. This phrase in English, what does it mean? That means you have a chain of thought. So you have an idea, then you extend the idea, then you extend the idea even further, and then there is a step-by-step logical reasoning behind it, isn't it? So that's how humans think most of the time. You don't suddenly think and pop the answer comes out, right? So you think of it at the basic level, then you say, hey, maybe by extension, if I go further, this is the next conclusion, then I go further, the next conclusion. So this is actually a very intuitive process, chain of thought. And not surprisingly, one of the prompt engineering frameworks is actually chain of thought, okay? So basically it breaks down the task into multiple step-by-step process, okay? And then we communicate, okay, with the ChatGPT or whichever conversational AI chatbot you use. Now I give you one context. So this is whatever that is inside the box here on the slide is actually the prompt. I know you're more used to typing one line, but I tell you, the more professional you are, the longer your prompt is. Okay, so well, I mean, I can be, I can be more or less aware of how good you are by just looking at the length of your prompt. If your prompt is one line or two lines, that means you haven't actually, got trained or educated in the art, not science, art of prompt engineering. Okay, so this whole thing inside the box on the slide is actually the prompt. So I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. Essentially, what the prompt is saying is, as the first person, I own a cafe in Singapore. And I want to update my menu, right, with traditional Thai dishes. So that means I already have some menu, but I'm not selling Thai dishes yet. Okay, you're asking ChatGPT for suggestions, right? So you can see the chain of thought here. Chain of thought means, okay, you start off, okay, can you tell me what are the popular dishes, right? Traditional Thai dishes. And then then the next question, follow up is, can you categorize them into starters, main course, and desserts, all right? And then after that, you will say, okay, based on that, what are some dishes that cater to vegetarians and vegans? Because, your customers are not all carnivores, yeah, for the lack of a better word. Then you further, ask a further question. So you can see the chain of thought here. I'm not going to read everything. So what happens is for this, right? Yeah, for this, we would do it using the ping pong style. What that means is that you ask a question, wait for ChatGPT to reply, and then you ask another question. You don't copy and paste the whole thing in, and then they answer all 10 questions at once. That is not the way for chain of thought. Okay, so there's some Wi-Fi information here for the people here.
We are back with the Wi-Fi. So can I trouble? I'll pass it to you so you can just.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so what happens is I do have the, I think you can see my screen, right? Yeah. So let's go to ChatGPT. Okay, and I also have that link. If you missed it, I'm going to flash it here again. Okay, I think some latecomers was asking for it just now. So this is where you will get all your files. I mean, these are actually the files, the slides as well as the prompts. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste this into my my browser here, and maybe I should put them together. Okay. Okay, so I have the shared Google Drive, okay, and then this one, right? So let's try the chain of thought TXT, right? So you have this. So I'm just going to provide. I'm just going to copy. Okay, this is live. Right. So it says, recommend some popular Thai dishes. Wow, it's even writing in Thai. Okay, not just English. Huh? Can see. I think the most famous one is pad thai and tom yum, right? Green curry. Nothing very, very surprising there. And then you follow up, right? Okay, which of these are actually starters, main causes, whatever, right? So let's say you completely don't know, right? For example, I don't think a lot of people know what is Ping. Maybe you know, I don't know, okay? Or maybe Som Tom, I don't know also, right? So I want to say, can you categorize them into starters, main course, and desserts, right? So you can see that it's organizing everything nicely for me without me knowing anything about Thai dishes, right? Other than pad Thai and tom yum, I think I'm completely ignorant about Thai dishes. Maybe green curry, maybe, right? So this is nice. Okay, then of course you can carry on and say, how about dishes that are suitable for my vegetarian customers or vegan customers? So you follow up with that questioning style. Okay, so this is you can see this is a chain of thought. You are following up, following up, following up, just like how you would chat with a human. Basically, this is a very natural thing. That's why I'm introducing to you as the first prompting technique. So maybe you think, this is so natural. Why are you even talking about this? Well, we always start off with something natural, right? So that you can ease yourself in. All right. So of course you can go ahead and try the rest of the prompts. As they answer, you give it one more question. You give it one more question. That's chain of thought. You don't throw all the questions in. That's no longer chain of thought. That's tsunami of thought. Okay. Please don't do that. Okay. So that if you do that, then that defeats the whole purpose of chain of thought, right? Okay. Let's do role playing. This one is very very commonly used, but maybe you may be hearing this for the first time. If you are, good for you. Basically, what role playing does is that you tell ChatGPT, now you are whoever, you are expert in whatever, you are a world expert, you are the best in the world, blah, blah, you are guru in this and whatever, right? And then in that context, you ask the question you want to ask, or you prompt the ChatGPT after giving it a role, okay, to play, and that's role playing, okay? So a few simple steps. First, you assign the role. Okay, you don't assign the role at the end. The first phrase that you say is like you are, or imagine you are, expert in whatever, or the best in the world in whatever. Okay, that is to make sure that the ChatGPT is in that frame of mind. Okay, so to speak. Okay. And then after that, after assigning the role, you say, what's the background information? Why are you asking this question? What's the context, right? That's the keyword. The technical term is context. But if you don't understand that, that means background information. And then lastly, you say, what exactly do you want ChatGPT to do for you, right? Or to answer. So again, similarly, okay, in the context of that cafe and Thai food and all that, you can see that the scenario has not changed, right? You see the blue words on top of my box. Example, imagine you own a cafe in Singapore, blah blah blah. That has not changed. The storyline is the same. You can take a look at the previous slides, okay? With the same storyline, now I show you using the same storyline, and the storyline doesn't go into the prompt, okay? What goes in the prompt is everything that's inside the box, okay? So say that you are a Thai culinary expert. Do you see the role playing here? It's in bright yellow, okay, in case you missed it. And everything else, it's about providing context, right? Okay, so the context is I need your help to update the menu of my cafe with traditional Thai dishes, right? And then the last part, remember the third step, what it is? So once you have given the role, right, you have assigned the role to ChatGPT, you have given a context, why are you asking this, what's the background, and then you can see the bullet points. The bullet points are then the specific tasks that you want ChatGPT to do. So you can see that it's a bit different from chain of thought, where you don't do ding dong so much, right? Basically, the most important phrase is actually the first sentence, and it's always in the first sentence. You don't write you are a culinary expert after giving all the instructions. That's too late. You must put it right in front, the first sentence. So that's an important aspect of it. Okay. So I can, of course, give you just a simple demo, right? You have the rest of the text, okay? So what happens is I'm going to put in a new chat, okay? So as not to, because actually chat sessions actually have memory. So if you have asked whatever I've asked just now using chain of thought, it will remember, okay, to a certain limit. So to be fair to the role-playing prompt engineering style, I start from scratch. So no history, I'm doing role-playing here. Okay, you can see that it's working, okay? And yeah, you may think that the answers are, very much similar, okay? But I'm introducing to you another prompting technique here, okay? For specific circumstances, for example, in my world, I can say you are the world expert in, for example, Python programming language. You are now tasked to write a code to do a machine learning task or AI task. In that context, the ChatGPT will switch from Thai culinary expert to a Python programmer, the best in the world, right? So to speak lah. Obviously, it's not going to power up just because you say it's the best, right? But it's just providing a role to play so that it is very aware of what it's supposed to do, right? So you can see that uh, this is role playing. Okay, you can assign any role you want. So I'm not going to hang around too much here. I think it's a pretty straightforward idea, okay, and very easy to grasp. Next, let's do zero-shot prompting. Now, this zero-shot prompting is a bit technical. There is another equivalent, okay. Um, so zero-shot means zero means you don't provide any examples. And in fact, so far, have I provided any examples in my prompts? I actually did not provide any examples. Right? I did not provide any examples of what the response I expect. Okay, I did not say, oh, example one, you're supposed to give me this kind of response. Okay, when I say examples, that means examples of response. Okay, as well as the prompt. So I can say example prompt and then followed by the expected response. Okay, so but when I say zero shot, it just means that I just ask the question, but no examples of what it's supposed to do. Okay, so in other words, this is what you have been doing all this while, lah. If you don't know what's zero shot, right? You just straight away ask the question, right? And you didn't give example of what's the expected output, right? Or what you're trying to see or get out of that. Then you have been doing zero shot all your life, lah. Most people would be or should have been doing zero shot all your life, okay, without knowing you are doing zero shot. But now you know. After today, you know you have been doing zero shot, right? And now the most important line, okay, is actually the final line of the slide at the bottom in bold. So ChatGPT might not always provide the best or most accurate response since it has no examples. No example means I don't know what you want. You'll try to guess what you want, right? But so I think you can start to see where I'm getting at, okay? But that's for later. Let's show you the zero one, okay, the zero shot. Write an email to schedule a meeting, right? About the new project launch with Lisa. Briefly mention the purpose, okay, in the email. So again, I'm going to go out there and copy and paste the prompt, which you have in the shared drive as well. So I'm just going to copy directly from the slide as well. If that works for you, that's fine too. So here I'm going to start, because this is a completely new storyline, right? It's not about food anymore. It's about emails, right? So you can see this is a typical a prompt that you will be writing, right? Zero shot, right? Zero shot. No examples, just tell ChatGPT what exactly you want, and then you hope for the best, right? And then you press, and then you hope and hope and hope and hope. Ah, not bad, not bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and yeah. So it knows I'm Dr. Tang when I'm actually not Dr. Tang, because that's my persona to ChatGPT. There are ways to set this. I'm not going to show you how, but every time I chat with ChatGPT, he knows me as Dr. Tang, so that I preserve my privacy. Otherwise, it's quite scary, right? Whatever I type, they know it's me, and they can track me over time, right? So you can see he knows me as Dr. Tang. Yeah. No product placement from Tang, sir. Yeah. Anyway, so okay, so that's not bad, right? That's not bad, right? So that is zero prompt, right? You can see that there's no example whatsoever of what the result should be, and you can see it's very, very short, very clean. Okay, but can you do better than this? Obviously, I've been hinting you can, right? So the next part is okay, something one level up, something better than zero shot, and not surprisingly, it's called few shot. Few shot means what? Zero shot means zero example. Few shot means what? Few example lah, right? Quite straightforward, right? I think doesn't doesn't take a computer scientist to answer this, right? So and indeed, right, is to teach, okay, is to teach ChatGPT with some minimum examples, right? So on the spot, you are actually training, doing some mini training or micro training of the ChatGPT on the spot, right? And they learn very fast. Okay, there is a technical term for this for those who are more geeky. This level of training or learning, it's called in context learning, right? The context is the example, and then they will learn from the context of the example. So it learns directly from the example. Now this is a very different paradigm in if you know machine learning. This is not the same as the typical supervised machine learning or unsupervised machine learning or even reinforcement learning. Those things you need a lot of data, and then you train a machine, then you use the machine to do prediction. I mean, train a model, then you use the model to do prediction, and all that, right? And it's usually requires a lot of data. But these days, with in context learning, okay, via few shot prompting, okay, you can temporarily affect the model's ability for a specific context. Okay, so you can improve the ability of ChatGPT to answer for that specific context. Okay, in other words, you don't have to throw away the whole ChatGPT and retrain it from scratch. No, not necessarily. Okay, so I show you. So this is a very long one. So I would have to copy and paste this, okay, into ChatGPT again. This is a picture, very unfortunately, because I wasn't able to squeeze that whole text in, right? So let's see, few shot. You have that as well if you have this file. So I'm going to copy and paste this whole thing here, okay. Right, so let's see. Okay, so before I paste, it's a bit small, but it's basically this, right? You can see the main prompt is on the first line. Basically, the main prompt is exactly the same as the zero shot prompt, right? Not much has changed in the first line, right? I just copy and paste from the zero shot prompt. Totally the same. But what have I added? I've added examples, right? Example one, blah, 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 blah. Many lines. The example doesn't have to be one line. It can be an entire email, right? Of course, these are all fake emails, yeah, for privacy reasons. Then I paste in another example to make it few shot, right? Otherwise, it will be one shot. One shot is better than zero shot. Few shot is better than one shot. So obviously, I will advise you to do a few examples, 2 at the minimum, right? All right. So now I'm ready. I will refresh this, okay, with a new session, and I paste the whole chunk in, right? So now you can see how scarily long your prompt is, right? I think you came into this room, um, earlier thinking that your prompt is just going to be 1, 2 lines, maybe 3 lines. Now, how many lines is your prompt? Very scary, right? Many lines, 20, 30 lines, right? And it's probably unexpected. And later you will see it get even longer, right? So, right, next time, when you see you observe your friend use ChatGPT, over the shoulder, or maybe your family member or your kid or your whoever, right? Then you see, just quietly sit there and observe. One line, nah, amateur. untrained, right? Now you know, professionals don't do one-line prompting. It just doesn't. It's called zero shot, right? Zero shot, right? And it's definitely not as good as what I'm trying to show you now. So this is few shots. Gonna press, and then hopefully everything works. You know, live demo is quite scary. You know, sometimes during live demo, Murphy visits you. That's why it's called Murphy's Law, right? And just now Murphy tried to visit me and trying to disrupt my Wi-Fi and your Wi-Fi and whatever. So Murphy is always around. You know, yeah. So everything went well, and I'm still Dr. Tang, but that's my pseudonym. It's not real. I'm Dr. Yeo. So you can see it's pretty much in the style of the two example emails. Obviously, if there's a very specific style of answering, right? For example, you can answer in a very Singlish way in the examples, and then most likely it's going to come out that way as well, right? So you can force it to adapt to your style of answering emails or writing emails, depending on what style you usually use for your emails, right? So you can see it's slightly more customized, okay, more detailed as well. Instead of just now the zero shot one. Zero shot one is very generic, okay. All right. So here is a picture because I need to squeeze everything in. Now I promised you that your prompt is going to get more and more interesting, right? So since National Day is around the corner, and why not we bring it forward, and you can see the little Singapore flag there flying. What this shows is that this is made in Singapore, okay, made in Singapore. And the credits are all at the bottom of the slide, okay, by Sheila. I don't know whether you're in the audience. No? Okay, good. If not, I would like to meet you. So what it is that she's actually a data scientist and AI engineer at GovTech. Woohoo! gov.sg, yeah? Yeah, well done. So she won the first ever GPT-4 prompt engineering competition last year, right? And immediately after my talk, there will be an award ceremony for the second year of that same competition. We want to go and see what fantastic prompts they come up with this year, right? All right, so she invented, okay, this is completely made in Singapore by a Singaporean. Um, it's called CoStar. Now, this is going to look very, very scary for you because it's not just a few lines, it's multiple sections, right? Or bullet points, okay? So the entire prompt consists of COSTAR, right? And context means, can you tell me what is the purpose of this task, objective? What are you trying to accomplish, right? And style, can you tell me whether it's a bullet point style, narrative, that means long prose, or what's the tone? Do you want it to be very professional, or hey, like a friend? Or and then audience is what's your audience, right? Are you trying to generate a response for youngsters, or are you trying to generate a response for seniors or someone with in a specific area? Like, for example, you can generate responses for example, data scientists, and say, I want my answers to be for data scientists only. And the audience section of this CoStar will help you with that. And of course, you can specify in the response section what is the desired output. Do you want it to be a list, an explanation, a detailed plan, or whatever you want? So this entire thing, it's called a framework because it's a multi-section, multi-faceted method of prompt engineering. So this was almost exactly 1 year ago, okay? It's not that old, but for ChatGPT, where things come out every 2 weeks, I think this is a bit old, but you might want to find out what's the latest this year, okay, later, just after my session. All right, so let's look at this. We have a very interesting prompt, okay? So I'm back to the cafe story again. Thai traditional dishes, again, the same story, same storyline, but now I'm going to put it inside the CoStar framework, okay? Everything inside the box is part of the prompt. Everything that's outside is not part of the prompt, okay? Yeah. So you see the context, right? It's quite clear what the context is, and you have seen that before. Some of these phrases you may have seen in the previous prompts, but now everything is put together, okay? And do you need to type the word context colon? Yes, you do. Otherwise, it's a bit more difficult for the ChatGPT to figure it out. Of course, I don't. I mean, these days with the more advanced versions of ChatGPT, I think it will just you do just fine without the keywords like context, objective, style. But I think it's better to leave it there. Anyway, you're already typing so many words. Just type a few more words. Wouldn't make a lot of difference. Yeah. More keystrokes, but it probably be helpful. All right. So then objective, I think it's pretty clear. Give me a list of traditional, followed along with brief descriptions and all that kind of stuff. Style, okay, must be clear, organized, suitable for use in the menu design process. So that's the style. And then there is tone, right? Tone, that means how you want it to sound. So informative and engaging, okay, and you need to be suitable, okay, needs to be suitable to inform the customers, right? You're writing this eventually for the customers to see it, okay? And then there is audience, right? Who are you targeting? Who is supposed to see this? Who do you want to see all this information? Yeah, it can be cafe staff. It can also be customers, right? So in this case, I specified two target audience, cafe staff and customers, because these are the two types of people who will most likely read the menu anyway. And then there will be a response, okay? The response, you are very, very specific, right? You say, I want a list. So list is a keyword. List usually means that you will come up with a bullet list or something like that. It's not going to be a long essay, one big chunk of words without any points, okay? So list is a keyword. And then you say, because you don't want the screen to be filled with too much information, you say, I want 5, okay? At least 5, with name, description, key ingredients, whatever, right? Should be concise. Now, concise is a very interesting word. Concise is something that I often use in any prompts, in any of my prompting techniques. If it comes out too long, I will say, be concise. Blah, 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 blah. My response is 2 words, be concise. Then it will be blah, blah. Okay, after that. Yeah, you don't believe, you try. You ask a question, why is the sky blue? Blah, 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 blah. Be concise, right? And then it will be much shorter. Simple things like this. I don't need to come up with a framework for that. So here I'm also using the keyword concise and enticing. Enticing is probably something that is specific to this use case, but you can think of any other word, right? And suitable for menu format, right? So that's something that that will make the response from the ChatGPT very specific to what you want, what you demand, and you should not actually be too surprised after writing this whole core star thing. You should not be too surprised at the response. So that means after you write all these things, right, you will roughly know what kind of response you're expecting. Now, if it comes out as something crazy, right, then that means your prompt didn't work, lah. Okay, but since this is last year's winner, right, I think you should have some trust, right? Probably try and test it. Maybe not for Thai dishes. I don't think she won based on Thai dishes, from what I know. So, all right. So let's do again another ChatGPT. Yeah, I'm flying through all this because I have extremely limited time, and I also want to have some interactions with you and the people online later with a Q&A. So I'm just doing a sample. So I'm doing the co-star framework, yeah, copying and pasting the entire thing. Now, in real life, obviously, you have nothing to copy and paste, right? You have nothing. So you need to write everything, right? Every single part of co-star, you need to write yourself, right? But for today, everything is copy paste, right? I think my students will love this. Unfortunately, they're not here. All right. Right, you press this, and then ta-da, you just wait. Da-da-da-da-da. You can see it's exactly what you asked for. It's all within expectations because that's exactly what you told it to do. In great detail. So let's think about this in a more philosophical level, right? Why can't I just do a simple zero shot prompt? I just say, hey, I need you to generate a menu of Thai dishes, traditional Thai dishes, and stop there, right? And press enter. Well, of course you can do that. Of course you can do that. But is it exactly the way you want it, right? You can see the format is very clear. For every dish, there is a description, there is a key ingredient section, right? Everything is according to the format that you want, right? Okay, so this is much more powerful than just zero shot prompting, or what you would do before you came to my class today, right? Just ask a simple one-line question. It's going to be very different because there is a format there. Okay, now let me just um, go a bit off track a bit by saying convert. Right? Let's say I type convert to a table. Can it be done? I don't know. That's it. Convert to a table. Forwards. That's all you need. So you can let it, you type the co-star, then it adheres to a description, key ingredients, blah, blah, blah. And you can see that it's well formatted, right? Extremely well formatted. You can really see the structure just now. But it's very wordy. I mean, it's very wordy, but it's still not in the exact format you want, right? Maybe you need it in the table, right? Okay, table, done. Exactly based on description as one column and key ingredients as another column, right? That's it. Now, how is this even possible if you did not use the co-star framework? Because if you don't have a co-star framework, there will not be a description for every dish. There will not be a key ingredient section for every dish. So you're actually building the foundation for the table. The structure just now before the table is the foundation for the table. You make life very easy for ChatGPT. If you make life easy for ChatGPT, it will make life easy for you too, right? So that is basically the takeaway. If nothing else remains after this, okay? All right. So I hope you actually had a interesting session, right? I hope you learned something. I hope that your prompt is no longer one line and zero prompt. That indicates that you are amateur, untrained. Please don't walk out of this session with one line prompts. You are embarrassing me. Don't say I taught you. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I am the Dr. Tang. Yeah, don't. I'm not Dr. Yeo. I'm Dr. Tang. Yeah, Dr. Tang taught you the wrong things. Dr. Yeo taught you the correct things, right? All right. So just want to do some plugging. So there are some um, upcoming courses, right? And we do run professional certs in ChatGPT, advanced chatbot models, even generative AI. The dates are there. QR code if you're interested. We also, if that is too basic for you, you are better than that. I will show you this. This is the next level that we have. It's also upcoming about 1 month from now. There are multiple courses, QR code if you're interested. So what I gave you is just a taster, free sample lah, if you want. Yeah, you go supermarket, they give you free sample, right? One small piece. Yeah, but this is the real stuff. Okay, I don't conduct all of them. My very competent colleagues will also chip in and provide their expertise. All right. So lastly, this is where I come from. This is where my boss sits as well. So please scan the QR code. He'll be very happy with me. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Job done for now. I will try to answer some questions. Um, all right. There's someone asking whether I can prompt using microphone. I haven't tried that before. Quite scary to do live demo like that. Okay, let's try. Is there a microphone here? I don't think I can upload. No, I don't think I can. In this web version, I don't think I can use. Oh, I can speak speak, but it can't. Probably can't. Okay. So sorry about that, David. I don't think I can do the microphone demo here. It's probably the version on your phone. You can say, why is the sky blue? Why are leaves green? Why am I feeling happy? Yeah. What is the meaning of life? Yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff on your phone. The one installed in your phone as an app. I think probably that. Sorry, I can't demo it on my web version. All right. So of the various prompting techniques available, which prompt style is the most effective in the terms of the result outcome? Now, obviously, if you want a very, very structured output, right, as you saw, who do you think is the most powerful? Costa, award-winning, right? And must support local, right? So yeah, Costa. But obviously, that's a lot of efforts. A lot of efforts. Type very long, almost like writing a mini essay. So I would say few short. Few short is probably the best of both worlds. Not too long, not too short. Few short. So every time you give an example of what you want, what you expect the chatbot to as a response. So I would say few short is the best bet here. Okay. Um, right. Is it worth investing? $20 US subscription fee? You are actually looking at the paid version. Okay. Not going. I'm not their salesman. Yeah. My job is not to sell that. Okay. But I can show you what I can do. So Dell E. Okay. What do you want? You need to be paid. You need to be paying. Yeah. No, 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 no. I don't think Marshall one. Uh, all right. Let's say draw a cute lion mascot, right? And this is beyond text. This is what one of the things that you can do in the paid version. Obviously, that's probably not enough. Okay, quite cute. Okay, and it's a lion. It more or less lives up to my instructions, right? Since we are from universities with lion mascots, I think this is the most neutral thing I can show here. Um, yeah. Llama probably the based on what my own experience, the llama response will be slightly more inferior. But if you say Gemini and ChatGPT, OpenAI, I think they are comparable. So the prompting techniques are pretty much transferable across Gemini and ChatGPT. Beyond that, I can't guarantee. But I think the few short one definitely works lah because you are giving examples of what you expect to see ma, right? Microsoft 365 Copilot behind the scenes is still ChatGPT lah. I mean the brain is ChatGPT. It just wears a different costume. The brain is the same, yeah. Yeah. So I would say very very similar. But of course, I think the Microsoft tuned it for business more than the OpenAI ChatGPT. So it's some minor differences. Whether it's worth using paying the $20 subscription USD, that's up to how heavy you are the user. Obviously, you don't pay $20 to get lion mascots. That's very expensive lion mascot. Is it if I were to use prompts for summarizing, which framework should I consider? Well, summarizing you can just simply put you just say summarize the following text and then you paste whatever long text you want and then hit enter and you just summarize for you. Now, if that is still too long, you can just say what? Do you remember what I said just now? Be concise. Stop. Press enter. That's it. You become shorter. Yeah, don't talk so much. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Yes. Okay, let's do that. Must make my $20 worth, right? There's time lah. So
Are you able to link the ChatGPT for context? Directly using whatever you have done in ChatGPT.
you can submit images. You can attach images and say it will understand. You actually understand what's inside the image. Thai restaurant. There you go. as tight as it gets. Yes. You can go more, I want it to be cute, I want it to be colorful, I want it to be blue tone, green tone, orange tone, whatever tone you want. I want to see pad thai in there, I want to see elephant, I don't want to see elephant. uh, how long will the session memorize the prompt that I'm asking? Well, within as I think it can remember many A4 pages equivalent. I there is a technical specification of how long. That's called a context length. You can go and Google whatever ChatGPT version you want and say context length, and it will tell you how many words. So you will remember that. Let's say I don't know. Let's say 3,000 words, right? That's what you will remember. Anything beyond, you will start to forget the old stuff. The older is, you will remember the recent. So it has a short-term memory lah. So it will just fade away. The older stuff will fade away and then refresh the latest. But it's always that few thousand words of context. Yeah. Uh, okay. So for example, in this diagram, how do you know whether it's stolen from a human or is it generated? At this level, I think it's probably a mixture of multiple artists' work from their prior work. But can you pinpoint exactly who did draw this diagram? I wouldn't be able to put any specific names, but it has probably learned from several artists' style. So this is controversial. There is no answer to this really, but it involves AI ethics. Yeah, this is something that we're still working out as a community, as a planet. Yeah, so I think at the moment this doesn't. There's no real answer to this. Someone's asking whether the course covers RAG AI. The RAG AI RAG is covered in the enterprise deployment section. Okay, so the second QR code that I showed you just now, so that's covered. Okay, so all right, I think I'll wrap up before I overrun more than necessary. Sorry for a technical glitch just now for those online. I hope you learned something. Okay, so see you around. Hope to see you in NUS, of course, for our courses. Yeah, see you. Thanks.